This is Maggie from Omnivore's cookbook. Today I want to share a soft cinnamon roll recipe made with a Japanese milk bread base to create an airy fluffy texture. It is then stuffed with cinnamon sugar and a buttery sesame paste to make the filling extra moist. Let's get started. To prepare the dough, we start with heating up some milk to activate the yeast. The milk should be around 100 to 110 Fahrenheit. Pour the milk into the bowl of your mixer and then add a pinch of sugar and then add the yeast. Gently mix the yeast with the milk and let it sit for 5 minutes. You will see small bubbles on top of the milk. When the yeast is ready to use, add 300 grams of bread flour, 40 grams of sugar, half teaspoon of salt, a third of a cup of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons melted butter, 1 large egg, and 2 tablespoons toasted sesame paste. Mix everything together until the liquid is just absorbed. Do not overmix at this stage. Then cover the bowl with plastic wrap and let it rest for 20 minutes. Turn on your mixer. Gradually increase the setting from 1 to 6 out of 10 and set a timer to 10 minutes. When the dough is mixing, use some butter to grease a big ball. You can also use oil spray. After 10 minutes, the dough should be very smooth and even. The dough should be soft, a bit sticky but not stick to your fingers. Test the dough with both of your hands. It should stretch into a very thin and translucent sheet. Let it knead for another 2 minutes if needed. Transfer the dough into the large greased bowl. Cover with plastic wrap and let rest until the dough doubles its size, about an hour. When the dough is resting, prepare the filling. Add the softened butter with the sesame paste in a small bowl. Mix until it forms a smooth texture. In another bowl, combine the brown sugar, cinnamon powder, and salt. Stir to mix well. You should break apart larger pieces of brown sugar, but it is fine to leave those small chunks inside of it. Line a large baking dish with parchment paper and grease it with some butter or oil spray. Now the dough has risen and very soft. Punch the dough to let out air bubbles. Sprinkle some flowers onto your working surface. Transfer the dough onto your working surface and lightly flour the dough. Use your hands to make it a rectangle shape so it's easy to roll out. Roll out the dough into a large, thin rectangle sheet. The dough sheet should be slightly larger than your baking dish. Measure the dough so it's 17-inch long and 13-inch wide. Use a dough cutter or a knife to slice off the irregular edges and discard them. Now add the butter sesame paste mixture we made earlier onto the dough. Use the back of a spoon to spread it out onto a very thin, even layer. Make sure to leave a gap on the side of the long edge, so the sesame paste won't spill out when you roll up the dough. Sprinkle the cinnamon sugar mixture evenly over the sesame paste. Gently even out the sugar using your hand. Starting at the top of the long edge, tightly roll the dough towards yourself into a long log. Once fully rolled, make sure the seam is stable set down. Press gently to seal it. Use a sharp knife to slice off the irregular part on both edges and discard the dough. And then use your knife to score the dough into 12 even parts. Usually score the dough into half, and then further divide it into 4 pieces, and then 3 even pieces between each quarter. And then slice along the scored lines to make the dough into 12 cinnamon rolls. Transfer the cinnamon rolls onto the lined baking dish. The cinnamon rolls should be evenly spaced in a 4x3 array. And then cover the baking dish with plastic wrap. Let the cinnamon rolls rise again for 30 minutes. Preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit while resting the cinnamon rolls. After resting, the size of the cinnamon rolls will be doubled again. Bake in the preheated oven for 25 minutes. Prepare the glaze where the rolls are baking. In a small bowl, add half a cup powdered sugar, 3 teaspoons whole milk, and a half teaspoon toasted sesame paste. Mix until they form a runny glaze. You can cover the glaze with a plastic wrap so it won't dry out. Now the cinnamon rolls are baked. Let them cool down for 5 minutes. And then drizzle the glaze on top of the rolls. And here it is. Really airy, fluffy, soft cinnamon rolls. They are crispy on the outside and very soft inside. The buttery sesame paste makes the filling extra moist. You can store the leftovers in a sealed Ziploc bag in the freezer and reheat them in a 350 oven. These cinnamon rolls are so good. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. Thank you for watching my video. Like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to Omnivore's Cookbook on YouTube. I'll see you next time.